Hello everyone and welcome aboard the home of the Hype Train and its dedicated football team, Hype Train FC. We're finally into 2022's action, with the first stop for the train in the new year seeing us travel out to Iver Heath FC in EBFL's Premier Division on the 8th of January 2022 after 3 weeks off due to the Christmas break, with the team looking to match or better our 3-1 home win against Iver Heath this past October in what was our 5th league outing of the season. On an overcast and wet day in early January, the hosts Iver Heath were kitted out in their home yellow and black, whilst we made the trip out to the Slough region with our red Kitlocker power-up strip. In goal for the club, Jake Holloway played his first game outside of the RG postcode, whilst ahead of Holloway in defence we had Danny Busden and Robert Austin occupying full-back spots, whilst in the centre of the park we had Chris Marshall partnering Ryan Knott in central defence. In midfield, Matt Snell, George Holloway and Callum Fox-Spence were occupying central midfield positions, whilst we had width out wide in the form of Graham High on the right and Paul Hatfield on the left, who were both in support of Phil Newport in attack for the team. Among the substitutes, club captain Vince van Lermbergen ended up managing proceedings from the side due to a knock and was joined by George Fradgley and Colin Zakemchi. Ahead of kickoff, if you follow the team, don't forget to hit the like button as well as subscribing to the channel for more action from the train, and you can also find out more about the club by visiting our main website hypetrainfc.com and by visiting our parent website over at thehypetrain.co.uk for more from the Hype Train. Ready for some back and forth action in the first half, then strap in. As we start with the team going from left to right, Callum Fox-Spence has put the ball through a player's legs and he feeds Graham High down the right. Graham's first touch is a beautifully weighted cross into the box that unfortunately beats everyone. Iver Heath's first foray forward sees them open the goal scoring just a few minutes later around the 10 minutes mark. It happens when their forward Gary Ashton keeps the ball in and he's forced out right to keep the ball in play. He's able to turn back into a stronger right foot and deliver a cross in. The number 8 goes into the penalty area, he wins the head and he gives Iver Heath a good start to the game. The ping pong continues down the other end with a Paul Hatfield corner. It's whipped in at the near post and somehow beats the Iver Heath defensive line before they clear their lines. The ball trickles back out to Paul, who takes one touch infield and a second to shoot, but the goalkeeper's on hand to collect the ball. Now down the left hand side, a throw in goes to Paul Hatfield, who's doing well to hold off his man. He sets up and looks across the field. He plays in Graham High, who takes an excellent touch and bangs it in with his left foot. It's a quality finish by Graham, who's got his first goal of the season. Iver Heath are again on the attack now, and it starts when they do well to intercept a loose pass with their right midfielder, the number 7, collecting the ball. There's a ball that's played through the defensive line here with Chris Marshall squaring up against their forward. He cuts in onto his left hand side, but Jake Holloway makes the save. And now there's a moment of horror that I've been dreading to edit on the YouTube channel, and yes, it is a mistake by myself at left back. As you can see here, I've got ample time on the ball and probably too much time on the ball. It's the odd edge of the defender here. The number 7 closes me down and there's a bit of loose footing as I give away the ball. Iver Heath stride forward into one of their forward players, who cuts in, takes a shot, and my error compounds a 2-1 loss for the team now. At the other end of the pitch, Danny Busden's looking to spare our blushes as he whips in a beautifully weighted free kick, and it beats everybody, but it's not too far away from ahead. We didn't have to wait long though to draw level in the first half, and it starts when Danny Busden gets hold of the ball. He delivers a deep cross that goes into the penalty area. It's flicked on by one of the Iver Heath players and falls out to George Holloway. George is able to cut in on his right. He buries the effort into the bottom right corner, and the team have a 2-2 draw leading into half time. Now into the second half, going from right to left. The team in red here start the second half when they're attacking from a throw-in. Phil Newport powers on with a shot by George Holloway, eventually going wide of the mark. A glorious chance now for Iver Heath to take a 3-2 lead, and it starts when they're working the left hand side here. Their player does well to hold up the ball before eventually cutting in a low cross. It falls out to their number 9, who sets and takes a shot with his left and somehow doesn't hit the target. It's really tit for tat now as Phil Newport does well to hold off his player before running past. He's got George Holloway waiting for the arrival of Phil again, with Phil doing well to hold off a few players with his strength. He eventually takes a shot that's well saved by the Iver Heath keeper. We're still in the same attacking sequence as Callum Fox-Spence picks up the ball with Iver unable to clear their lines. He eventually gets the ball out left with Paul Hatfield winning the ball. He puts the ball into an area, he's dragged down, but the play continues. Myself Rob takes a shot and it's saved by the left foot of the Iver keeper. We're now switching to our Canon camera for this bit of footage as Ryan Knott does well here to use his strength here to hold off the Iver advances. The ball goes out left to Paul Hatfield, the number 14, who's got the number 2 on toast here as he's slipping and sliding on the mud. Paul eventually twists and turns before cutting into his right, and the eventual shot is a little bit unlucky. It just bounces up ahead of him. The chances just really didn't stop coming in this game now as Iver Heath in a very open game, but the ball through our defensive line. Jake Holloway makes an incredible save and is followed up by an even better clearance on the line by Ryan Knott.
Mate, I'm happy for 25 minutes. Great fucking goal. Well done!
I thought that was a fucking third there. Fucking running
Jake!
This game of 1,000 chances open up even further around the 65-minute mark here as a ball played back to the Iver Heath goalkeeper from Graham is cleared out by their goalkeeper but only falls out to Callum Fox-Spence from range, who's dinked the goalkeeper. It's into the net and the team have a good 3-2 lead.
Nice one.
It's too dangerous. It's not because it works out long time. It's not fine.
Have a go!
Come on, Cal!
Don't change anything just yet.
Less than 2 minutes after going ahead for the first time in the game here, there's a bit of a bobble and an advantage in Iver's favour as the ball eventually goes out. There's a nice through ball that beats our defensive line. It's a good run. There's a little cut back to their number 7 who flashes a shot wide of the right post. The pitch was muddy and slippy and slidey with Iver Heath here picking the pocket of our defensive line. Here they've got a chance to cut in. They do eventually cut the ball back and somehow Jake here makes an incredible save.
Boys, let's keep it simple.
From the resulting corner kick, it goes into the middle of the goal and it's initially cleared away. The team are trying to work their line up here, and as the cross goes into the back post, we're arguing for offside. It's chested back, it's put into the net, and upon further review that we looked, it's not offside. Iver Heath has scored a good goal and the game's now 3-3. From the resulting kick-off, it's end-to-end action even more, with the ball going downfield to Phil Newport. Phil is in behind the Iver Heath defensive line and he's striding towards goal. He sets himself on his right foot and he flashes a shot that goes over the bar. Again, Graham does some fine work here down the right-hand side to connect with the midfield, with Graham picking up the ball again. There's a cross that goes into the box here. George Holloway does well to keep hold of the ball. He eventually squares the ball back, but it's the wrong place at the wrong time in the thick of the mud before Iver clear their lines. Now it's down Iver Heath's right-hand side as Collins Akemchi is doing battle with Iver Heath's number 29 as they whip in a cross that goes to the edge of the box. There's some nice little intricate play here before the ball is tricked up into one of their players. Jake Holloway, though, is fast out of his line to deny a goal-scoring opportunity. Now down the right-hand side, we have a throw-in that goes all the way across to Phil Newport, who gets the ball onto his left, and his rocket of a shot hits the upside of the crossbar, and it's out for a goal kick. This game of counter-attacks just wasn't ending anytime soon here, and it starts when Collins does well to rob Iver Heath of the ball. Matt Snell does well in midfield here to collect the ball and drives on. He picks out Phil Newport on the right-hand side here, who's got a lot of time to run into. Phil looks up, he cuts back in before he eventually plays the ball back out to Matt. He takes a shot, but it's a little bit wide. Callum is in the box, he beats the defender, and he slips over when it matters most. From the resulting goal kick, Iver Heath's keeper performs a laboured effort as it eventually goes back out to left back. There's a ball down the line and expertly flicked on by Callum Fox-Spence, with Phil Newport winning the race. He takes the ball round the goalkeeper, but the angle is against him as it rolls across the goal, and Graham on the right hand side is unable to keep the ball in.
Rob Channel. Time's out. Go on, Phil! Go on, Phil! Go on, Phil! Go on! Go on, Phil! No!
If there was one sequence that summed up a very, very attacking game and a long video for the boys on YouTube, it was this. It starts when Iver Heath attacked through the middle, eventually crossing into the box. The ball falls out to their right winger who cuts in on the left, but there's an excellent block by Danny Basden. Myself, Rob at left back picks up the ball before playing it into George Holloway in midfield. George does well to turn away from his man and drive into midfield before playing in Phil Newport here. Phil does excellently and he's through on goal. The goalkeeper tries to distract him before the ball goes back out right to Graham High. Graham then dinks in to the penalty area. Phil heads on and the goalkeeper for Iver Heath has made an incredible save to ensure the game finishes at 3-3.
We've done it! Turn!
Go on, Phil!
Go on, Phil! Lad! Oh my God, how has he saved that? How has he saved that?
Despite a host of late chances for both teams, we had to settle for a point in another high-scoring encounter between ourselves and Iver Heath to start the year, meaning that we've taken 4 points from our host this season and start the campaign with 8 points from 5 games, and we would have one more final outing against Iver in the EBFL League Cup to round out the month. Next up for the team, the following day we kick-started our Sunday League journey with a last 16 encounter against Give Back FC's first team in the Berks and Bucks FA Sunday Trophy, whilst our next taste of Saturday League action would see the team begin our cup run on Saturdays with a home tie against Sandhurst Town's under-23s team in the EBFL President's Cup. Until next time, believe the hype.